Hello everyone, welcome to the episode of the BG Show. I'm here to do a betting preview of UFC Fight Night, Saudi Arabia, IMAVOV versus Adesanya. A couple of big fights, so let's just get right into it. And let's start at the top of the card. Israel Adesanya in his first non-title fight in about 6 years, since 2019, facing off against Nasruddin Imavov, who is from France but of Dagestani origin. A very, very interesting fight. I'm excited for this fight. It takes place at 9 a.m. Eastern. So an early card. The main card is at noon. And let's just get right into it. Kind of a tough, not really a tough fight to diagnose, but I think the odds are a lot closer than I would have anticipated. I just don't see how Israel Adesanya doesn't win this fight. Imavov is good, but I don't think he's shown anything to say that he could fight on this level. When you look at some of his last fights, Imavov, he's on a 4-5 win streak. He's beaten Curtis, Delize, Jared Cannonier, Brendan Allen, all really, really good fighters, but none of those guys are on Izzy's level. Could Izzy be washed? Yeah, he's 35. He's got a lot of tread on the tires, but I still think this is a no-brainer bet. So I'm taking Izzy here minus 170, the straight-up line. If he loses, he loses, but I'm just not willing. I don't think Imavov is nearly fast enough or skilled enough to beat him. I also like Adesanya by decision. I do think Imavov is tough, and Adesanya is not the type of guy. He could knock you out, but he's more of a counter puncher. He's not going to come and throw haymakers at you like Topuria will or someone like that. So I also like decision plus 140. I think this is a situation where you could double bet and place two of them. Moving down the line, the co-main event, Shamir Magomedov against Michael Venom Page, otherwise known as MVP. I'm very confused by this line. Shamir Magomedov knocked out Petrosyan in his last fight. He had a really cool highlight reel knockout, but he's not nearly as skilled, not nearly as experienced. Michael Venom Page is obviously older, but I still think this is an absolutely crazy line. I would take Michael Venom Page here as a dog. Plus 155, I think it's an absolute no-brainer bet. Now, that being said, I could see a situation. This card's in Saudi Arabia. He's from Dagestan, but he's Muslim. I think he lives there, where this could be a totally robbery of a decision. This has happened before, not only in Saudi Arabia, but all around the UFC. It can just you start to learn when these things are going to happen. And so Magomedov by decision plus 115, not parlayed, but bet with Michael Venom Page plus 600. I think you could do that as a scenario and kind of hedge your bet a bit. But I think MVP at plus 600 is also really crazy odds. I mean, he absolutely can knock him out. I haven't been I like Shamir Magomedov a lot as a character, but I haven't been super impressed with him as a kickboxer. So I think this line's way off. I think MVP is going to win this fight easily. Will he get robbed? Definitely, which is why there's some risk when you bet it. But I would take MVP, and that's how I would do it. Moving down the card, other fights I like. Shamil the Blob, as people call him. I like him by decision, plus 260. Thomas Peterson is honestly not bad for a heavyweight who's kind of relatively unknown and new. But I think this will be a very boring fight. I think he's going to lay on him. I think it's good odds to get a minus 350 favorite at plus 260. These guys are going to get tired towards the end. And I think it'll just be a boring fight. He'll win by decision. And to close out my betting preview, just one more fight I think you can take in the women's division. Mayra Bueno Silva plus 200. I think this is also way too steep of an underdog. She's been in championship fights. She's been one fight short of the championship. Jazz Divisius, I think, has won 4 fights in a row, but I honestly think she's worse still from what I've seen. So I think these odds, I think the women's division's way more unpredictable. Any of them. I say women's division like there's one. I think there's 3. But women's fights in general, I think, are more unpredictable. I think the odds are a lot more inaccurate, and I think this is another opportunity to make some money. So those are the fights I would take. Just to recap: Bueno Silva, Shamil Gaziev, Adesanya, Michael Venom Page. They're chalk picks, the first two, but I just don't see a scenario where they lose if there's not a robbery or an injury. Though both of them should win. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hit subscribe, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.